you can follow along with me on page 318. This is letter B. Now, the first thing we want to notice about this problem is it is division. Remember, whenever we have a division problem with fractions, we need to turn it into multiplication. So remember to do this. We're going to leave the first one, so we have 2/3, change our division sign into multiplication, and then use the reciprocal of our second fraction. So our reciprocal of our second fraction would be 8/3. Remember, the reciprocal just makes us flip our fraction. So now we can look at this problem and simplify it. Well, looking at this problem, I look at the top and bottom of the equation of the fraction, can't simplify, so then I look to the diagonals. Once again, I don't think I can simplify. So my next step is to multiply across, because I've changed it into a multiplication problem with fractions, and we know how to do that. So 8 times 2 is 16, and 3 times 3 is 9. So our answer should be 16/9. But remember, we need to simplify this. So to simplify this and make it reduce more, we put our top number inside our division sign, and the 9 goes on the outside. Well, 9 goes into 16 one time, and I'm left with 7. So my answer would be 1 7/9. Make sure you're simplifying your fractions always. On to our next problem. This is letter A. So we have 1/4 divided by 3/8. Oh, and by the way, your code for today, your animal, is a sheep. He's going to sit right up here on top of our fractions. So we want to divide these fractions. To do so, remember, we leave the first one. We want to change our division sign into multiplication because we know how to multiply fractions. And then our 3/8, remember, our second fraction, we need to use the reciprocal of. We need to flip it. So we can simplify this one, because remember, it's easier to simplify before we multiply. So let's look at the ups and downs. Well, we can't simplify those, so we turn to the diagonals. Well, 1 and 3 don't simplify. How about 4 and 8? Why, yes, we can do 4 and 8. 4 goes into both of them. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we can now multiply across. We multiply across the numerator and denominator, or the top and the bottom. So we have 1 times 2, which is 2, and 1 times 3, which is 3. 2/3 is a simplified answer, so we can be done. Now, this problem looks a little bit different than our other ones, but remember, we treat it the same way. It's a division of fractions. Now, 4 might not look like a fraction, but remember, we can make it a fraction. It's the same as 4/1. So we'll approach this one the same way. We leave the first one, 8/9. We change our division sign into multiplication because we know how to multiply fractions. And our 4/1, we flip it because we want to use the reciprocal. So my new problem is 8/9 times 1/4, and we know how to multiply fractions. So let's look to see if we can simplify. Well, I know we can simplify the 8 and the 4. 4 goes into both of them. 4 goes into 8 twice, and it goes into 4 once. 4 divided by 4 is 1. We can't simplify any more, so now our last step is to multiply across. 2 times 1 in the numerator is 2. 9 times 1 in the denominator is 9. So looking at this, our problem is done. So our answer would be 2/9. And if you wanted to follow along or work on this problem yourself, it was letter E in the book.